Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm really glad that you're here today. If you're new, hi, I'm Jody and I love talking about makeup. If you're like me and you have struggled with finding good quality makeup at a good affordable price, how many times can I say good quality in this video? I don't know, we'll keep a tally because it'll probably be a lot now that I've planted that seed in my head. Anyway, get back to it. If you like good quality makeup, but you don't want to spend a fortune, then today I'm going to share with you my must-have drugstore products. The inspiration for this video was really my older sister. She lives in another state, she watches my videos, and she's calling me on a regular basis going, I really need this to work, but I don't want to spend a lot of money. What should I get? So if I were to tell somebody that's new to makeup or maybe just wants a fresh start with makeup, what are your must-haves when it comes to drugstore? Because if you've been to Walgreens, CVS, Amazon, Walmart, Target, Ulta, you name it, any drugstore, there is aisles and aisles and aisles of products. And it can be super duper overwhelming. And I'm in the beauty industry and I get it. It's overwhelming to me too. So starting from fresh, what would be good products to get so that you could apply an easy makeup process and walk out the door feeling confident. And I'm also going to share with you some products that you don't need to get sucked into when you're at the drugstore, because I did get sucked into them and they did not work at all. Now, there's always a caveat that says these might work for you, but I'm going to share with you specifically why they didn't work for me and why I don't think it's a good way to spend your money. So we're going to start with the products that you are going to want to think about, and then at the end we'll talk about the products that you don't. If this video is not interesting for you, then be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you are reminded to come back to this channel, because my next video next week is going to be the differences between setting powders and setting sprays. Thank you very much for the comments. This was a video that was requested and I get it. It can be confusing. Do you need setting spray? Do you need setting powder? Do you need primer? Do you need translucent powder? It's all a lot to think about. So I'm going to walk you through the difference between setting powder and setting spray in next week's video. Also in a video coming up, you guys, I did it. I ordered from Temu. I've never ordered anything from Temu, but I was really interested in the quality of their clothing because of the price. And in a video the following week, I'm going to share with you my thoughts. And you might be surprised. I don't want to give you a spoiler alert. And in fairness, I haven't worn all the things that I purchased, but I did wear one of the dresses that I ordered from Temu to a pretty big deal. And I got a lot of compliments on this dress. People thought that I spent way more than I did. So, little fashion video for me. I'm not your fashion person. I have fashion people that I like to follow for that. Party Till Dawn is a great fashion person on Instagram. How to maybe pair some of the clothing items in your closet so that you don't have to go purchase new stuff, but reimagine what you already have. She's really great for that. And she's over 50, so she applies that maturely modified approach to her styling, which I love. All right, so that's coming up. But as I started to say, I'm not the fashion person, but did I find some fashion steals? We'll find out in that video as I share all those items with you. So let's talk about drugstore items that I think every woman should have in their arsenal, especially if you have mature skin. Now this is the most expensive item in this list of 5, and this is the L'Oreal Prime Lab Pore Refiner, or they call it Pore Minimizing Primer. I like this for a couple reasons. One is it does give a blurring effect to your pores. Now I wear this right through here where my pores tend to look more enlarged, and then I wear it on my chin where I just sort of get that orange peel look. If you guys have that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This helps to camouflage that. I rubbed it in, but I should leave it so you guys can see. It's thick enough to cover up or blur those pores, but it's not so thick that when I apply a foundation on top of it, it rolls up. If you guys have used a primer that is just not really good primer, you've probably had that experience where you go to put on your foundation and it almost turns into little balls of product, and you get up close and you can really see them. From a distance, it's not that noticeable, but you know they're there, and it makes your foundation not look smooth and it looks a little textured. Just by adding that primer to my hands, you can see the difference. And imagine if that's on your face where your pores are really enlarged. The second reason that I like this is this has an AHA plus LHA plus BHA complex 1%. So it is over time helping to improve the texture or the look of your skin. So for those that may not be able to afford a lot of makeup and a lot of skincare, I always say invest in your skincare first. But if you can find makeup that also has skincare in it, that to me is a big plus, and that's one of the other reasons that I love this primer. All right, so what goes on top of primer? Clearly a foundation or a CC cream or a BB cream or a tinted moisturizer. All of those can be confusing. I love this e.l.f. Camo Hydrating CC cream. Now, you might be saying, what's the difference between all of the things I just listed? CC cream stands for color corrector, which means it's going to be a thicker formula with more coverage. Now, for those of us with mature skin, a formula that's thicker may cause a moment of pause. However, you can thin this out by cutting it with a little bit or adding a little bit of moisturizer to it, or you can just dilute it by putting this on with a damp beauty sponge, which is how I apply it. This sells for $15, has an SPF of 30, and sells 39 different shades. It's not a thick formula, I don't find, although CC creams are typically 4 thickness. A BB cream, if you're wondering, is a beauty balm, and that just means that it is your moisturizer, your sunscreen, and your coverage all in one. CC cream is color corrector, and it means that it's a thicker formula that also contains your moisturizer, your coverage, and your sunscreen. So if you like a lighter coverage, BB cream's a nice option. If you like thicker coverage, all-in-one, CC cream's a good option. If you wanna go even lighter coverage, that's where you're gonna find your tinted moisturizer, and it's just that. It's a very thin coverage, light coverage where you'll still see your skin coming through, and it offers your moisturizer with a bit of coverage. And then there's full coverage foundation all the way on the other end. If you're looking for a product that just does coverage, you might have your own sunscreen and your own moisturizer that you really love. You'll put those on, and then you'll put on this foundation. That's why I like a BB cream or a CC cream, because it comes with everything in it: your moisturizer, your sunscreen, and your foundation. This I really love, and all these products I'm wearing today, I had applied all these products in a tutorial as I was using them for you today. However, at the end, I realized that I forgot to turn on the microphone for the video. Yeah, that happened. So here we are. So now you can see how nice that primer works with that foundation or CC cream on the back of my hands. And again, here it is on my face. My pores aren't accentuated, partly because of how well this formula works, as well as that primer. In addition to this having the 39 shades and an SPF of 30, it's also long wear, it's full coverage, and it's a dewy finish, which is what I like. I don't like a matte finish, meaning my skin looks sort of matte or dried down or less shiny. I don't like matte, and I don't like super shiny. I like just a natural dewy glow to the skin, and that's what I think that this e.l.f. offers. All right, so if you're on a budget and you're just looking for the basics, you wanna take care of your skin or your complexion, which we just did, now we need to go to our eyes. One of my favorite products at our drugstore that I would recommend everybody having is, no surprise here, the Voluminous Waterproof Mascara. This sells for $9 to $11 depending on where you buy it. As I was putting this video together and looking at prices, it was funny how, I don't know if it's funny or not, but it was interesting how prices range from, you know, about a $3 swing, whether I looked at Target, Ulta, I looked at Amazon, I looked at Walmart, I looked at CVS, and I looked at Walgreens. I use the color black, and the reason I like this is because it gives your lashes a nice voluminous look without the clumping. And for me, the older I get, the clumping just, even if it's just 2 lashes that are clumped together, it just automatically makes me feel older. I don't know why that is. The clumpingness, I just want lashes that are singly coated and give me as much length as they can and not transfer underneath my under eyes. That to me makes a good mascara, and that's what this does. I have 2 coats on, which I typically use 2 coats, and you can see the fullness in my lashes, and again, there's no clumping. So big fan of this. This has been around for years, so this is probably a staple in many of your makeup bags already, but if you are new to makeup and you're looking for a good drugstore mascara that you can throw in your bag and feel confident you're gonna have nice lashes all day, then I would highly recommend this one by L'Oreal. And I'll link all these down below, you guys. I hesitate linking products all the time because this is not a sales channel. This is a me and you talking as friends. Here's what I found, here's what I like, here's what I don't like. But then I also find that if I don't link stuff, inevitably people want to know more about it, and I'll get comments to say, hey, where do I learn more about that product? So I just link it there in case you want to take your curiosity or your shopping one step further. But please know, I don't link stuff for the intention of you to just rush out and buy everything, because as you'll see today, there are some stuff that I would say do not spend your money on. All right, now that we've got some mascara, let's go to eyeliner. No surprise if you watched my channel before, this NYX Epic Eyewear waterproof eyeliner is a must-have, and it comes in 24 colors, so you can find a color that works well for you. I have it in burnt sienna. Look at the pigmentation in that. And if I want a thin line, I can just easily turn this to the side and I get a nice thin line. If I want to get it a little thicker, I can do that. And then you have a little bit of time to go in and smudge it before it dries. But once it dries, it's pretty set. And by pretty set, I mean it is there until you take it off hours and hours and hours later. So if you are busy and you do not have time to reapply your makeup, in fact, I wear this on days that I'm gonna do a review that's like 8 hours or 12 hours later. If I'm not doing the review on the eyeliner, I will create the look with this eyeliner because I know that 8 hours or 10 hours later, I'm gonna pop back on camera and show you guys how a foundation wore or a blush wore or an eyebrow pencil or a lipstick or whatever, but I want my eyes to still look fresh, and I will wear this on those days that I know I need to look as good 8 hours or 12 hours later as I did when I started my makeup. I love these. I'm a big fan of NYX when it comes to eyebrow pencils, lip liners, and eyeliner pencils. Because it's a gel formula, so there's no tugging with these. Same with their lip pencils. They're very gel formulated. So for those of us that have those smoker lines or wrinkle eyelids, you don't have to tug. It's a very smooth, creamy formula so that you can create a wing if you want. You can clean up the wing really well before it starts to dry and then let it set. Same with the lip liners. Just a big fan of NYX products when it comes to liners. Now I do have a couple NYX products in the don't waste your money category, but we'll get to that. We have one more product, and that is the Revlon Color Stay Cream Eyeshadow. A few weeks ago I did a Friday face off on cream eyeshadow, and I used the e.l.f. cream eyeshadow, the e.l.f. No Tug cream eyeshadow. And I did like it. It did last. I just found it harder to work with than the Merit. Merit is $24, however, and the Color Stay by Revlon is $7 to $9. I have it in color Cream Brulee. It's just such a pretty creamy color. I'm gonna just put it on the back of my finger and then put it on my eyes some more so that you can see. But I applied that earlier this morning, and you can see that it is not creasing on my eye. I mean, and by not creasing, I mean it does settle into some fine lines and wrinkles. I applied the Pore Minimizer Primer first. I don't have visible pores on my eyelids, but this fills the pores on my face almost like a putty. So that's why I use this as the same primer on my eyelids. If you have a primer that you love, you can use it on your eyelids as an eyeshadow primer too, unless you find that it has a sting to it or something, which some may. I have not encountered any primer that bothers my eyes, but if you have sensitive skin, I would just be careful of that or check that first. I love a quick cream eyeshadow, and these are really, really good. And if you, again, are just new to makeup and you want something really fast and you just want to have a little look to your face, but you don't want to have a complex or an over exaggerated makeup look, or even a glam or a soft glam look, then these are really good options for you. All right, so now let's talk about the things that didn't make the list. And one of the most obvious is you guys are probably looking at the things I love and go, yeah, but what about a concealer? There are a few drugstore concealers that I like, but I can't say that I've ever found a drugstore concealer that I love. It doesn't mean that there isn't one. That just means that I have yet to find one that I feel solid enough to recommend to you guys. I prefer the Haus Labs by Lady Gaga Triclone Concealer. It is a more expensive price point. I have just found that to be a really wonderful, wonderful concealer. Now, the concealers that I think are good just not great for me, that are drugstore price point, is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer and the 16-Hour Camo Concealer. The difference between these two is the hydrating is more hydrating. So if you are oily underneath your eye area, you would want to try this one instead. They come in a pretty big doe foot applicator, which I don't love. And the formula is a little thick, but it can be applied in a way that is not so thick. And by that, you would just put a little bit on the back of your hand, apply a brush, and then apply it that way. That will thin it out. You can also add a little bit of moisturizer to that to thin it out. The difference between the two is one is hydrating and one is much thicker. This one is their 16-hour. It lasts 16 hours, but they're both really thick formulas. If you use them sparingly, then you'll be fine. You just got to use it sparingly and then move it quickly where you want it and pat it where you want it, and then know that it's gonna dry down a little bit. They dry to almost a semi-matte finish, I have found, which I don't love. I don't love this area under my eyes to look semi-matte, because if you have to set it with the powder, it's gonna look more matte or dry anyway, and on our more mature eyes, that's rarely a good thing. This Hydrating Camo Concealer does work well, and I would say if my sister, who's 3 years older than me, was to call me and say, okay, I need a good concealer under my eyes and my eyes are dry and I only have X number of dollars to spend, then I would send her this direction. The other one that I do like is the Maybelline Age Rewind Eraser. Is that even what it's called anymore? Anyway, you know the ones. It's got the sponge on top. I take the sponge off because I don't like the way bacteria can grow in the sponges. I'm just weird that way. And it probably doesn't grow at all, but it's the way I think. I have it in color 110, and then this one is that pink color. This is 160. I like this for underneath the eyes. I would recommend getting both if you like to brighten your under eye area. So what's the difference between the e.l.f. ones that I just showed you and this Maybelline? The Maybelline is a thinner formula, so it doesn't give as much coverage. It is buildable, but once you build it, it gets a little cakey. So if you just want to add a little bit of color, if you're not discolored under your eyes, if you're not purpley or pink or blue, and you just want to add a little bit of brightness to your under eye area, then I would recommend the Age Rewind or the Age Erase. What I wouldn't recommend you do is the L'Oreal Infallible. This, I used to love this one, and if you go back, you'll find videos where I've said I really love this. And I did love it until I started using the one by e.l.f. The reasons that I like the one by e.l.f. is the same reasons I don't love this one. It's a really big doe foot applicator, and when you're more mature and you're doing your under eye area, this thick of an applicator is just, it allows you to get too much product under that eye area that is already so delicate and only needing of a little bit of product. I don't like the doe foot applicator. I also don't like how thick this is. This is really, really thick. If you have any wrinkles under your eyes, this will absolutely settle into those wrinkles, whether you set it with powder or not, and just look cakey. I have found it just looks cakey as the day goes on. It looks really, really pretty if you are going to be in, let's just say you're taking some family photos and you want to have really pretty flawless under eye area and you only need it to be flawless for an hour, then this is a good option. If you're going to be like wedding photos, for example, this is a good option. Other than that, I just don't think it's a good option. If you disagree with me though, let me know in the comments and say, Jody, I absolutely love this, and let us know what kind of skin you have and why you love it, because that would be really valuable information that other women would love to know about. Another product that I would say don't even try it is this is the NYX Pro Fix Stick. This doesn't play well with other products, and I'm sitting here thinking if you just wore like a moisturizer and you needed to spot conceal, would this be a good option? And I still have to say no, I don't think it would. I mean, it covers up that age spot on my skin nice, but it doesn't play well with others. So it doesn't blend out very well, and I think it's because the formula is so waxy. But again, if you disagree with me, then let me know if you wear this, how you wear it, and if you love it. We want to hear that too. I just find that, yeah, it doesn't play well with others. The last product that I would say, I really wanted this to work because I've tried a few other drugstore lip plumpers. You probably remember some. We tried the Maybelline one and it literally burned my lips for hours, and I'm not being over dramatic, and I do have a tendency to do that. I'm not doing that in this review. So I went for the NYX Duck Plump, and this is a beautiful color. I mean, really gorgeous color. Let me find an area that we haven't colored yet. The thing about this is, you guys, like most drugstore lip plumpers, it wasn't as painful as the Maybelline one. However, it felt like I had a burning pepper. I kept smelling pepper, and I don't know that there's pepper in it, but like throughout the day until I wiped this off, I kept smelling the scent of pepper, and my lips had a burning sensation. Like, yeah, like I had rubbed pepper on them, if that makes sense. It was like salt and pepper, that kind of pepper, not like a jalapeno pepper, like prickly pepper. Is that the word I'm looking for? It's the end of the week. I'm babbling, but you know what I mean. It's a pepper burning sensation. But what's weird is, as I'm saying that, I don't feel it on my hand. And I guess that's not that weird because the skin on your hand is obviously thicker. It's not as sensitive. There is not as many nerve endings in your lips as there is on your hand. So I guess that makes sense. But we're not trying to plump the back of our hands. Although, yes, I would love a hand lotion that would plump the skin on the back of my hands. So if anybody from a moisturizing lotion company is listening, that would be awesome. If we could just take what makes this plump, minus the color, put it in a hand lotion, and put it out to the market. You're welcome. That could be a really good marketing idea. I know I would be in line to purchase that. Okay, so there we go. Those are the things I would absolutely recommend to family, friends, and of course to you guys if you are looking for drugstore makeup. And a few of the things that I would absolutely say, save your money and invest in something else. That does it for me today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know what drugstore products you absolutely love. I love having this YouTube channel as a vehicle to share information with one another, and you guys have some great product recommendations as well. So if you wouldn't mind, leave those to me in this video and any other video. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in just a couple days. Bye-bye.